Pepperdine sophomore Jevon Porter is one of the most overlooked prospects for the 2024 NBA draft, and he's also the younger brother of Michael Porter Jr., but he doesn't make our list in this video because he's missed Pepperdine's last 9 games this season for no reason at all. Luckily for you though, we have 8 more underrated stars to keep an eye on in this upcoming draft. After LaMelo Ball got drafted out of Australia's NBL League, the first American to sign with the Australian League after LaMelo Ball is AJ Johnson, who just happens to be the younger brother of Houston Rockets shooting guard Jalen Green. AJ was a former 5-star class of 2023 and was committed to the Texas Longhorns for a long time, until head coach Chris Beard was fired for illegal issues. Now he's playing for the same team LaMelo Ball played with, the Illawarra Hawks. AJ's a 5'9" shooting guard who looks and shows off great potential in space creation with the ball in his hands, and had some impressive shot-making skills, but he does struggle to see the floor due to his poor execution and defensive presence. On the bright side though, he's going to be one of the youngest players entering into the NBA draft at 19 years old on draft night. The next player that I want to mention real quick is Baba Miller, but I can't mention him without mentioning Bo B. Clintman because I swear they're just the same player. Baba is from Spain and is currently playing his sophomore season at Florida State, and Bobby is from Sweden who played at Wake Forest last year, but he's now in the same league as AJ Johnson, the NBL. They both stand at around 6'10" and over 200 pounds, with both of them bringing length and athleticism to the defensive side of the court. And really, I do trust both of them guarding smaller players and holding it on their own. Baba's best attribute here is versatility, and Bobby's is definitely his underrated playmaking skills. We'll see him in the NBL handling the ball up the court and dishing out dimes to his teammates while having an impressive physicality at the rim. Both these guys are ready to make an impact for any team in the NBA because they have a talent to develop a good 3-point shot and bring secondary rim protection on the defensive end of the floor. Moving on now to the University of Alabama, Birmingham, we're going to see the most famous person on this list, Eric Gaines. Now, most of us have seen his unreal finishes in the lane, including incredible layups and numerous dunks. This undersized guard is one of the most explosive players in the nation, and not just at the college level. Eric may only be 6'2" and 165 pounds wet, so he doesn't really fill out his frame, but after the departure of Jelly Walker, Eric will move to a more point guard role this season. Now, I'm not gonna lie here, he does need to improve his decision-making skills because as a shooting guard last year, he averaged 3 turnovers. Eric does get a little flashy with his passes and does see the court better than what his turnover numbers say. Plus, he also does need to continue improving his jump shot. His 3-point percentage, though, has increased every season for the past 3. Plus, he even started his career shooting 17% behind the arc at LSU, and now last season at UAB shot 34%. The positive side about his game is Mr. Gaines has the athleticism, the ball handling, the shot creation, and a solid perimeter defense to be a solid combo in the NBA. The explosiveness doesn't go unnoticed here, and hopefully, Eric Gaines doesn't go unnoticed on draft night. While the college level produces young or even old talent into the NBA, we gotta go on to the veterans and talk about some real freshmen. Although Pittsburgh freshman Carlton Carrington did get put on notice for dropping a triple-double in his college debut, he's still one of the most underrated players because I have not seen him anywhere on mock drafts, or any big boards for that matter. Carlton, also known as Bub, was a 4-star recruit out of Baltimore, Maryland, where his biggest offers came from LSU, Rutgers, and even DePaul. So, has he always been underrated? I don't know, but look, all I do know is that he's a big guard standing at 6'5", has a great feel for the game, and amazing playmaking skills. Seriously, I love his mid-range pull-up, but he still needs to develop that 3-point shot. And the reason I say that is because on his debut, he shot 57% from 3 and had 18 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists. So, nice triple-double there. He's also been keeping his foot on the gas as well, going through 4 games averaging 18 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds, while shooting well above 50% from the field goal and 3-point range. So the more that he fills out his frame and does continue to have shot-making skills, Plus, being a pest on defense, he can definitely have his name called on draft night. Baylor, on the other hand, has started to produce NBA talent year in and year out. Just look at Davion Michael, Keontae George, and Jeremy Sohan. They were recently drafted into the league from Baylor. Currently, they do have Jacoby Walker, who's a former 5-star that is guaranteed as a lottery pick on that upcoming draft. Jacoby's gotten praise, but hey, let's give praise to another freshman at Baylor who was the most underrated big man in the nation. That big man is going to be Yves Missy, the 6'11", 230-pound center that was born in Belgium, raised in Cameroon, and played high school basketball at Prolific Prep. For those that don't know, it was the same prep school that Coleman Hawkins attended. This dude made his debut against an underrated Auburn team where he had 10 points, 2 blocks, and 2 steals. The NBA teams look for centers who can be great rim protectors, run the floor, and are athletically gifted, plus just have that real knack for the game. Missy checks off all of those boxes and then some. His athleticism and his size is a key point for him getting drafted highly. Not to mention, he is a massive pick and roll threat, so I trust that some team's gonna pick him up in the first round or heck, maybe even in the second round. Fun fact, his brother was the 2015 Defensive Player of the Year in the Ivy League, so he has someone to learn from. And let's just be clear here. It's not just college players getting drafted into the NBA. We gotta show some love to the overseas folks. What we got lined up is Nikola Jokic, Nikola Vujicic, Nikola Jovic, and now Nikola Topic and Nikola Dojricic. Topic and Dojricic are Serbians that both play for an organization called the KK Megabasket, which is the Adriatic League. Mega Basketball has developed 14 players in the NBA draft in the last 10 seasons. Nikola Topic is still underrated, even being projected as a top 10 pick, and he's got a really great feel for the game as a point guard who's 6'6" and 200 pounds. He's also just going to be 19 years old on draft night, and he's not really even a hidden gem that I want to talk about, but rather, it's Dojricic. During this time last year, he was a projected first-round pick in some people's eyes, but with his shot percentages decreasing and not really being an elite threat as a scorer, he found himself on the edge of getting drafted or not. Now he is a projected mid to late second rounder in most recent mock drafts. The upside with Nikola being 6'8" is that he's a great playmaker, has amazing skills on the court, sneaky athleticism, and shoots well over 40% from deep to start the basketball season. Although he will be at age 20 on draft night, he can bring a physically ready body and great skills for his size to become one of the best steals on draft night. Non-American born players go to American colleges all the time, but for a prospect for the next draft being a Switzerland-born player that goes to Miami, Florida University, hell, that is a whole other story, my friends. Meet Keyshawn George. Although born across the Atlantic Ocean, 24/7 Sports still has him as the 40th best shooting guard in the class of 2023. Playing in France for the last 4 seasons, he's really made some physically and mentally ready moves to get to that next level. He stands at 6'8" and 205 pounds, but the freshman finds himself as a great bench pre for the 12th ranked Miami. I see a lot of Anthony Black in this dude. Great size, great length making missteps on both ends of the floor. He can even handle the ball and has one of the best IQs in his freshman class. Starting point guards for Miami, Nigel Pack, says that, quote, his ability to play point guard at his height is impressive. Now, even though Keyshawn is listed at 6'8", Nigel says that he might really be 6'10". His first 5 games as a Hurricane was a struggle fest to say the least. He had gone 3 for 12 from the field and 2 for 8 from the arc. Although, with that being said, I'm still going to trust his upside as a large playmaker, a disruptive defender, and even a nice shoot-up point guard with confidence on the perimeter. Playing in Europe for some seasons prior to college does make him a super advanced individual for the game. I think personally, he's got that first-round potential, depending on how he does play against national talent and the March Madness tournament, which I am expecting Miami to make, but hey, I'm not tossing my chips just yet. Hopefully, with some luck, Keyshawn will be drafted into the NBA after his first collegiate season. The past 7 players are going to be great hidden gems, but this is the most underrated prospect by far starting in the 2023-2024 basketball season. The G League Ignite team has been producing numerous draft picks in the past couple of summers, making the second best route to the NBA besides high major D1 programs. Currently, they do have 2 players that are projected at top 5 picks. We got Ron Holland and Mattis Buzeles. They do lead the Ignite team, but with other projected NBA picks like Izan Almazah, Tyler Smith, and London Johnson, this could be the most talented Ignite team we've ever seen. But the Senegal native, Babacar Sena, is going to fly up mock drafts and big boards during the season. He was with the G League Ignite team last season, but has another year under his belt, which will give him great experience and learning development. You can find Babacar being projected late second round or possibly even undrafted in most mock drafts. You want to know why? Well, look, here's the skinny as to why he's so underrated. First up, he's a straight up dog who should not be undrafted. Despite being close to 21 years old on draft night, the athleticism is here. He can jump out of the gym and get down the floor as quick as anybody else. Plus, his defensive instincts make him a great secondary rim perimeter despite being 6'8". And having one of the longest wingspans in the draft class makes him a versatile defender for any franchise. He's quick enough to attack the rim, good enough jump shot to have great potential so as to space the floor, an elite lob threat, and good off-the-ball mover. Sometimes his ball handling does get a little loose, and sure, he gets out of control from time to time, but seriously, I'm really high on his development. I'm really trusting Babacar this G season because he is built and ready to be a first-round pick. Seriously, who wants to give Babacar a chance? I mean, I sure would. Draymond Green and Nikola Jokic are former second-round picks to become great NBA players, and if you think the upcoming NBA draft has a second-round gem, let me know who it is. And as always, improve your basketball knowledge by watching our previous videos.